What a breakthrough when I can come to discover that what God put in my hands is a manual that says, here's the way life was intended if it's done in the manner that the Creator originally intended. To be able to live a life that mirrors and models the life of the Lord Jesus. To be able to follow the lead of the one who came to demonstrate life at its best. To be able to take advantage of those who have come before me, as the Apostle Paul said in his 1 Corinthian letter, therefore follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. None of us is truly making life up for ourselves. We're all going to follow somebody else's example. And we live in a world today where examples are everywhere and where their input for life is being offered on so many fronts. We're aware of celebrities and their moment-by-moment actions through Twitter and through Facebook and through the media that allows us access to the lives of people who once lived in the shadows but now live in the spotlight. How in the world do you live life? Well, you're going to follow somebody's lead. And God offers us the best lead by looking at the life lived by the God who created life itself. And that's what the Bible is, an opportunity for me to examine the way I live against the way God intended that I would live. And be able to offer me a better way that is better for me and is positive and contributory to life at the best for everyone around me. And this continuum that Maslow recognized, though he didn't recognize and honor God, is the way that life is lived. Do we get stuck in life or do we grow in life? That's the underlying question. And the answer to that is, if I don't know how the process of growth continues, I'll never get the maximum from it. How do I accept in the first place that the way that I learned life apart from God was inherently less than what God intended? God calls it unrighteousness. But that simply means that if God was given the same situation, the same set of circumstances, He would have done it a different way. You could say, well, I had a good approach to life, but God comes and says, I've got a great approach to life. And why settle for good when you could instead have great? So the great approach to life is the life that God has outlined and given us framework to understand in the Scriptures. Why do I want to spend time in the Bible? Simply, I need coaching, a guideline, a guidebook to get the most out of my life. Why would I want a life that's less than was possible when I could have a life that is greater than I could have ever imagined? In my life and in my pursuit of life, I want my influence on other people to grow. That was intended when God put it in simplest terms through Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount in the Gospel of Matthew. He said, let your light so shine before men that they would see your good works and glorify your Father who's in heaven. To put it in simple terms, in accordance with what we're talking about today, your life should be a better model of the way life can be. And when it is, and people see it, they're going to come and say, how can I have a life that's more like yours? And we don't have to puff our chests and claim that we have a unique approach to life that had never been discovered or lived by anyone else before us. Instead, we can say, from a guidebook, a source reference that is absolutely dependable, that claims to have been offered to us by God, I've been able to capture a picture of the way God lives a human life through the model of Jesus, the Son of God.